morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Hi. How are you?
Well, thanks.
Good. My computer just died, and luckily it was just charging, needing to be charged. But I was just in the middle of watching James and Jay talk about grit in their book club, and then all of a sudden my computer died. And I was like, oh, that's fun.
That's scary.
But we're back. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What do I need to do? Awesome.
I'm not sure exactly how many we are expecting because we invited our sister market center as well.
Oh, good. Good.
We can get started whenever you feel prepared, whenever you're
Jenny,
ready.
thank you so much. I am so excited to see you.
Thank you for your energy. I need it. How are you guys feeling and doing there? How are you guys doing?
Great.
Well, enjoying this beautiful day today. I'm like, I have to sit outside because it's all your fault. Because my kids are painting my office because of your office. I liked seeing your back. You know, you're behind the scenes. I was sick of seeing my walls, so I'm redoing it, and it's all because of you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Well, you'll be happy to know my kid's still asleep, and she's the artsy craftsy one of the family, and she's been living the almost 13-year-old lifestyle of, sleep until whenever. So
Well, my kids are yelling at each other right now because they're mad that they have to paint, and so I'm like, I have to be outside so you don't hear them.
Oh, and we love them. We love them. Well, cool. We can wait a couple minutes, Erica, to let other people hop on if that's the case. How have things been going in your community, in your market? Everybody safe? What's happening?
Yeah, so we were lucky enough that in Ohio, we were considered essential the entire time. So although we, for the most part, like the staff and the leadership went and worked from home, people were still active and selling and, some challenges obviously because, showings were different and people were nervous and that kind of thing. But other than that, it's been pretty business as usual. So we've been blessed.
Yeah. We've had that same situation here in Tulsa. We got to stay essential and stay active. Luckily, everybody has been safe and healthy in Oklahoma. Our cases aren't a huge number, and which is, you never know, that can also be kind of a bad thing too, because people may be overconfident, and we still want everybody to be safe and smart when it comes to that. So
absolutely.
Well, you want to just, let's see, I see some more people hopping on, so you can get started whenever you're ready.
Sure. Yeah, we'll wait just one more minute. I know we have a couple others hopping on.
Jenna, you figured out your Facebook issue? I am so sad.
Yeah, so I'll share my fun excitement over the last week. So I was up at my lake house working because I've been sneaking up there with my daughter on Thursdays and Fridays just to have a different change of scenery for work. And I got an email, and this is supposed to be a warning for all y'all. I got an email that said your account, well, let me start with this. On one of my Facebook pages, it's called Real Estate in the Real World. It's just a public page for real estate agents. And so thank you. And so I had posted an old video, and in the background of that old video was some music, but I had paid for that music. I'd gone to a website, I paid 99 cents for the rights for that music. And that's all I had done that morning on Facebook. And I get an email that says your post is in violation and could be at risk of deletion or whatever of your account. I don't remember the words anymore because it's all a blur. And so if you want to protest that, click here. So I don't know if that was the scam. The people I've talked to who had similar experiences said that that was normal, that that was a message that they got and that you have to say. And so I did. And then next thing I knew, it was just taken over. I couldn't get back in. I was blocked. I was all these things. So in the end, I was sad because all my content was gone. All my personal pictures and memories are gone from Facebook land. And then so I was mad. I was sad. And then I just got to a reality of like, this is okay. Those memories are in my heart and in my mind, and life will be all right. And so I moved past it. I learned a lot from it. In the end, about 3 days later, at least I was able to make a new Facebook account. I couldn't even create a new account with my same name for 3 days. Finally, I was, and luckily I had admin. So this is a lesson. If you guys have closed Facebook groups that you own or you're an admin of, have multiple admins, because if I hadn't had my viral marketing people be my admin inside my group, I wouldn't have been able to get back in ever. Like, it would be gone. And so luckily you guys can't see the content, but I can. I thought it was all gone. It's just now got the icon of this random weird person that hacked me and has taken over my life. So lots of lessons. If you get my video emails, you'll see one coming up about all the lessons I learned. Hey, we have an addiction to social media, guys. And I learned that for sure. So life goes on. The other thing that I'm a little sad about, I'll just give this, is that in that time of me going super introverted and introspective because of this loss, I also got real present with my family. And so there were lots of lessons along the way, because we can still be great humans without sharing everything we're doing at all times on Facebook and Instagram. So, all right, there's my little Facebook story. So Erica, if you want to.
Yeah, so welcome, Jenny. Jenny is a team leader of the Wollet Group and from Oklahoma, correct? All right, and she was gracious enough to join us today to talk a little bit about discovering your purpose, what's most important to you, and kind of that driving force in all of us. So I'll let her take it from there. And Jenny, do you want people to chime in and ask questions as we go, or do you want to hold off till the end?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll make some space if people want to chime in. That is great with me. Thank you guys for having me. What an honor to be asked. I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been in real estate for 19 years now. And I started growing a team over time, just really like 5 or 6 years ago out of necessity, not because I had these big, huge desires to crush real estate in the Tulsa market. It was because I'm a mom and a wife, and you guys know that that thing called counterbalance. And whenever you are finding success in your real estate career, it's a challenge to also be a great parent and a spouse and a community giver. All the hats that we wear every single day can put us into overwhelm, where we can shut down and we can have breakdowns, which I definitely had throughout my days. And I've shared lots of my story along the way. But what it helped me discover was that in about 2015 was when I had a really big, what we call breakdown. I got to a point of hating people. I didn't want to talk to people. I stopped lead generating. And you guys know what happens when you don't lead generate.
Person. Unless
you don't have a business. And so that's where an
admin is what.
And that's the point I had gotten to, was where I'd had continued success year after year, mainly because I'd taken a class called Bold. And by taking Bold, my mindset changed. I had the tools and the systems and the accountability to help me. I saw that we all are, created equal in this business, where we all have the same amount of time and the same amount of opportunity. And I was slowly having success and just not, I was being reactive when it came to hiring and systems and accountability. I wasn't good at any of that stuff yet. I was still learning and growing through my leadership, that I was just stressed. And I don't know if you guys have ever been stressed in this business. I'm sure that if you're like me, you know that feeling of where you just can't take another phone call or another thing that you just have to do. And so I had a breakdown, and that breakdown really triggered me into this whole new world that I am in today, which is where I got to get real clear on what matters most to me in life, in my business. And that is now my goal and my mission, is to empower and share through training and coaching with my real estate agent communities, with giving back to my local community, with educating our youth so that they become amazing humans that they have in their potential. And so that's where we are today. So I'm going to take you guys through some of the exercises that I learned and the thoughts that got me there. But for right now, just to recap of where I've been, is I have a small team here in Tulsa. We got to help 145 families last year. We have 6 people total. And back then we had 4 and 5 people. You know, we were in the transition of adding and losing team members like we do sometimes. And we've been essential through this coronavirus. And I was just looking at our numbers. I have a coaching call today. We've helped 45 families so far this year, and we have 31 under contract. So that just shows you that staying focused on what matters most, staying in activity with a positive mindset will overcome any circumstances, and you can still survive in any market. And I know, because I've been through a lot of them over all my years. So before we get started diving deep, does anybody have any comments or questions about what we've talked about so far? Everybody's good? All right, I can see your smiling faces, so I will move ahead. All right, so here's what happened. I had been sitting at a masterminds, lost and confused, and talking with friends, and they were all talking about their big why. Have you guys had this conversation with friends? Because we're big dorks at Keller Williams. We sit around and talk about our big why. Yeah, that's what we do. And so I remember fearing it coming around the table to my turn, because I didn't know what my big why was. I had a small daughter at the time. I knew that, of course, I love her. I want her to have everything she ever desires in her life, and pay for college and go on family trips and all of the things that everyone desires in an awesome life. However, that did not get my butt out of bed to pick up the phone and call people that I didn't know, or maybe I did know, at all. It didn't motivate me. Actually, the thought of it, I would think about it, and it just frees me up where I didn't call anybody. Or I would trick myself into thinking that I was productive by creating a flyer or putting a listing on MLS, by doing the busy work, when that wasn't actually dollar productive, and I just didn't care because I just couldn't get over that hump. And so we were sitting around the table at dinner, and finally it gets to me and I say, you guys, I don't know. I don't know what my big why is. And so maybe sometimes the lesson here is that it's okay to admit you don't know everything, or you don't have it all figured out. Because I was lucky enough to have a coach at the table, a really smart person, and he says, well, Jenny, you know, it's really quite simple. Can I, walk you through this process? Because, all coach always ask permission to help you and coach you. Of course you can, I said. And he said, it's really just the $20 million question. I was like, what? What is that? Well, the $20 million question is, let's just pretend, and you guys can play along with me, that you have $20 million in the bank right now. You have also traveled the world. You've gone on all the dream vacations and destinations that you've ever desired. You have all the material items that you ever could want, ever more than. You have money in the bank, so much so that it just keeps accruing so much interest that you can't even spend it in a day if you tried. You've given to your favorite local organizations, your church, any organization that you love. You've spread the wealth. Everything is taken care of. You have no financial worries or woes. And so now let me ask you, tomorrow when you wake up, what do you do? And for me, that question, just ask the big why question in a different way. It removed, for me, the need to earn money, because I think so many of us associate our big why with why I work for money, not why I work for my passion, which then my passion and my purpose fund my life by providing me money. And so by switching my thinking that way, I woke up the next morning at 4 a.m., which back then I did not do that. And I started journaling, and back then I did not do that. And it just came to me what my thoughts were. And what it was for me, and I'll just share what popped in my mind, and over time it's evolved, was at that time I woke up and I was thinking through what would have helped me as a younger person in my formative years, those later high school days, those early college days, when I don't know about you, I was so lost, didn't know who I was, didn't have any purpose. I really just waded through every day without a plan and without a mission of why I was doing what I was doing. I was just checking off the boxes of go to school, check. And I think lots of our youth do that, at least from what I've seen. And so I woke up with a need and desire to help those who are in that place, in that position, and lost and confused. And it's no fault of their own. They just never were taught the way that we're taught here at Keller Williams, with the tools and the mindset, the things that we have that have changed our lives. It's changed my life. I don't know about you guys. But what if we taught those things to younger people so that they don't take this extra 10 to 15 years to figure their lives out, and they got into action faster? And so those were my thoughts, and I journaled it. And in my mind at the time, it was women, because I am a woman. So I thought, how can I help young girls? That's what I would love to do if I didn't have to work for money. I would give my time and my training and all that I've learned in my life back. And so that sat there. I shared my ideas with some friends. I got tools. I got into action because that morning after I discovered this passion in my heart, I run into a girl at my mastermind table who had just become DISC, D-I-S-C. It's a behavior assessment. She'd just become DISC certified. All she did was went to Austin, Texas. Dr. Abelson is a real person. He lives in Austin, and you spend a day with him, and he trained you on how to understand the DISC assessment and how you can be a certified instructor of it. And so I'm like, well, there's a tool in my tool belt where if I'd understood behavioral styles in my younger days, I would have made a lot different choices when it comes to friendships or boyfriends, or even understanding myself and how I communicate with others. And so on my way home, I signed up for that class. I thought, well, that's a tool. That's something that no one can take away from me, that then I could help teach and train others about learning and understanding themselves better. And so time goes on and time goes on. I shared my story with people on my team and in my close-knit group. And what always happens? Life, business, I got back to work, got back into the grind, and it just kind of sat on a shelf over here. And then it wasn't even a year later, this guy named Gary Keller, he sets up this nonprofit called Keller Williams Kids Can. And the whole purpose of the nonprofit is to teach and train and empower our youth through education and the teachings of Quantum Leap. If any of you have taken Quantum Leap, it's a course that Gary created because he was discovering that over time, he was seeing that all these successful people had these simple success principles in their lives. And so if you are any studier of all the books and tools that we have at Keller Williams, Quantum Leap really encompasses them all. And inside of Quantum Leap is 6 personal perspectives, the one thing, all of the different tools that we use every single day. And so Gary was teaching in Austin a class to become a certified QL instructor. And so of course I signed up and I got to be in that inaugural class. And that was about 3 years ago. And so as I've gone from this, now I get to help younger people. We say 18 to 24-year-old, but of course we let people in because we want all people to benefit from the teachings. And in that class, we do a mission statement exercise. And this mission statement exercise allows others to think about what they care about, who they are, what they're naturally good at, so that then they can apply it to their life. And I was just listening to Jay Papasan and Jim Shaw's Pivot Shift book club yesterday, and the book is called Grit. If you haven't read it, please read Grit by Angela Duckworth. And I've listened to it and I watched her TED Talk, and they just said this, and this reminded me that grit, which we all need to have in this business, is really just passion, which is your purpose in life, and perseverance. So you have to know, in order to have passion, you got to know what your passion is and what it is you care about. In any class I ever teach, I'm going to always start with this. You got to start with why and who are you? So I'll share with you guys real quick this exercise if you're up for it. Anybody have any questions or thoughts before we move into this? I'm just going to keep going then. Uh-oh. Can you allow me to have screen share?
Yes, you should have it already.
Okay.
Let me know if not.
And that's okay if not. We can just talk through this. Yeah, it says disabled.
Okay, let me try and fix that.
It's totally fine if not. I'm just going to have to read something instead then.
I'm gonna make you the host for a second. Okay, see if
There
it
we go.
like
Awesome. Oops. Not that. All right. So in the class that we teach called QL for young adults, this is some of the slides that we cover and the information that we provide. This is one of, I know you guys have probably seen this slide before, the iceberg. And I always saw it too. And just recently, I think I was listening to one of the Think Like a CEO podcast where I heard it differently, where Gary explained that in this iceberg analogy, you guys see that up top is productivity. So that's what the world sees. Now let's dive a little deeper. If we don't start at the very, very, very bottom of understanding and knowing our purpose, why we are here on earth, then that if we don't know why, then we won't set priorities, which are also known as activities or actions. So that was always the disconnect for me. I didn't understand what priority meant. And what priority means is that when you know your purpose, you will put actions, activities, tasks into place because those are your priorities that lead to your production, your productivity. So let's just put it in a real estate example. You see a real estate agent who's very productive. They're selling lots of houses. They are selling lots of houses. That's the end result, right? That is after the fact. Those are the results. If you go back, you have to know that they put in the actions, the activities, the priorities into place in order to be productive. And if it was attached to their purpose, then they're going to be able to keep doing it. Have you ever seen a real estate agent that's a flash in the night? They are on fire, they crush it, they're amazing rock stars, and then it just fizzles out because they have burnout, they just crash because they can't sustain it. And I would think that what I've seen over 19 years of seeing people come in and out of our industry, that it usually goes back to because they didn't know why they were doing it, or they didn't attach their purpose to their business. to their mindset. Because now when we know as a real estate team, we have a mission statement as a team, and it's our mission to give back to our community by promoting local businesses, to empowering our youth, to educating, to delivering an amazing experience. Like, we've got our whole mission statement, and every day we make sure that we are living that in our day-to-day activities as a business. So that's our purpose. So therefore our activities show up that way. That shows our productivity, that cycles back to our purpose, because whenever we're productive as a real estate team, we have a mission that we're going to give back to our community. So we give back by way of donations and promoting nonprofits and business owners, etc. So it just keeps funneling. So you won't get burned out on it, on the business, when they are attached together. So when we think about it, really, there's a difference between a goal and a mission. And a goal has an end result. You can complete it. I'm going to sell 100 houses this year. Check or not check. You did or you didn't. And your mission is your life's purpose. It's always ongoing. You don't get to an end point with it. And that's why your mission and your purpose are bigger than just a goal. They've got to keep you motivated to continue and continue and continue. And so these are just questions that I want to ask you. And I really would love your focus and participation in this, because this is where you get to go a little deeper and discover. If you want to snap a picture of this, if you don't get to really think through it all right now, because we don't have a ton of time, I want you to be able to come back to it and think about it. And so just real quick, clear your mind and have some focus and something to write on. And I'd like you to think about, what are the ways that you feel connected? And so just write this down. Where are you moved to set in motion a positive ripple in the world? What topics are you drawn to? What impact do you desire to have on others or on the world you envision? And what causes are you most passionate about, and why? And so jot down some ideas. The thing about creating a mission statement for yourself is that we like to say that you're just dating your mission statement. You're not married to it right now. This isn't for life. This is just for right now, getting your mind to think about what really matters to you. So in that category, I'd say, like, who matters to you that you care about helping or being a part of, or what matters to you. And then secondly, go ahead and snap one of these two, because these are great questions to think through. What gives you energy and fuels you personally? What is something you would do even if you were not paid to do it? And when time flies by, do you lose track of it? And what are you typically doing? If your creator came to you in a dream and told you that you were put on this earth for a specific purpose, what would they say it was? And now you have the tools to create a mission statement for yourself. I know that was a fast forwarded version, and I'd like you to just put those two, number one and number two, put them together, and you can say, the mission for my life is, number one, whatever you thought of as being something you have a passion for, by implementing or through or with number two, which is using your unique gift or your skill or the talent that you already possess. It's already in you. And together you get to say, the mission for my life is ... And now you get to play with it, you get to form it, you get to share it with others, and they get to help you work on the words, because I'll tell you, mine is on edit number 5 or 6 over all these years. And it's from sharing it with other people and really picking through it and focusing on the words to get it to where it's really you. Now you can make it long and detailed, which mine right now is long and detailed. And to me, I really would like mine to be shorter. And I'll just share my whole mission statement with you. If I can get down to stop sharing. That's always my challenge. Okay. So here's mine: to empower others through training and coaching, to inspire confidence and change through positive mindset and tools, which encourage big thinking and action taking. And so that's a lot of words. That may be more than you want to even come up with right now. And if I were to say it really short snippet, I would say it's my mission to empower others to live their most amazing, awesome life that they choose to live. And I have tools and ways that I do that because I know my purpose. I put actions into place so that then it appears that I'm a productive person in this area. So does anyone want to share anything that just came into their mind about what they got to just discover in their thoughts of what is important to them? I'll sit here. It's okay.
Well, I was just, I don't have a mission statement for my business. And I think that is something that's, very important. And I can't believe I don't have one. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I don't think that lots of us do. Or we have one for our business and it's really generic. Of course, we all want to help people. We all want to be the best resource for our clients. And that's okay. You know what we did, honestly, Joy, as a team, we worked through this mission statement exercise individually. So everyone individually got to discover their passion and purpose. And then together as a team, we kind of worked through the same exercise as a team. We Googled mission statements of organizations that we really respected. We looked up Southwest Airlines and Disney World, the organizations that we respect and choose to emulate. We looked at their mission statement. So this is my favorite line. Our team mission statement is, our mission is to deliver on our promise, because we use the promise inside of our business. If you guys don't know what the promise is, hit me up later and I'll share it with you. And provide the highest quality of client experience with a sense of warmth and friendliness. We have a learning-based culture that is dedicated to giving back to our clients and the community. We commit to support our local business partners and empower our youth through education and personal growth. So when you have a mission statement, either with your business or your life, you get real clear on what matters and what you say yes to. Because if it doesn't fit into those, then that is I'm sorry, that's not something that we can commit to right now, because it's not in our mission. So me saying yes to doing Zooms like these fits into my mission. So thank you for allowing me to live my mission. Does anyone have any questions or comments you want to talk about?
I think it's important just in general to see your why and what you're doing, because I came to the conclusion that I'm not going to accept every single person who comes my way.
Yeah.
If they're going to be taking all of my time, which then, to be honest, $5,000 to give up my kids and my family is not worth it,
Yeah, you get a really good filter on yes and no, and that's important in our business. Yeah.
For me, I focus on actually giving a little extra sometimes to the people that do shy away. And I could sense it in them that they have a hard time trusting, or, the integrity thing comes to play. So where other people might give up on them or count them as lost, I nurture them. And so far, I would have to say a majority of my sales have been from that, where people thought wow, aren't you going to tell me this? And I said, no, I'm not going to tell you that. Or, I know you're trying to make money for your family. I said, of course, this is my career. I've chosen this. So yes, it brings food to my family, but I will never force you to do something you don't want to do. And by doing that, I've gained their trust. And then I actually had, for the first time, my someone came back and said, hey, I'm ready for the next round. And, you know, it was pretty exciting to have that. Like, wow, someone actually really trusted me enough and they liked how it went, where someone else might have given up on that last one. And so it gives me a whole different purpose, and it's my purpose. It doesn't have to be, people don't have to agree with me, but I know it works for my family, and I have the support of my family behind me, actually, which is really nice.
Thank you for sharing that, Renee. And what is fun about it, as your heart is full from helping others the way that you've helped, it just gets to grow and grow and grow because they felt your love and they're going to share that feeling, because it's all about how we make them feel, right?
Right.
When we make them feel great, they're going to share us with others. And then it just gets more fun and more fun and more fun. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Wow, that went by really fast. Thank you guys for spending time with me.
Thank you. I know Darlene had mentioned in the comments that she finds you very inspiring. So thank you for spending this time with us. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you guys. And I always point people to my closed Facebook group called Your Journey with Jennie, Jennie. If you were on the front end of the call, you heard that my account got hacked. Luckily, I can see all the content that I've ever posted in the last 4 years. It's just that you can't. But you can still ask to join. I'll let you in, and then I'll share things periodically in there, and that way you get on my mailing list, just because this allows me to live my mission and my purpose. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, guys. Reach out if you need anything.
Okay, thanks, Jennie. You could, since you're the host, can you end for all?
Sure, I will end for all. Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.